Welcome, everyone and anyone, to the PW Fan, the ultimate pro wrestling podcast created by fans for the fans. And this is episode 123. I'm your host, collector, barber, musician, and most importantly, a professional wrestling podcaster, Talk Wrestling, Tim Gilbert.
And I'm your host, the architect of pro wrestling podcast, Booker Andy.
I'm also host, the No Sun Wrestling Indie fan and football lover, Jeremy.
All right, everybody. This week on episode 123, we'll be discussing this week's events in the world of professional wrestling, including more tag team matches added to WrestleMania, a new TNT champion is crowned in AEW, Roman Reigns and Cody Rhodes have a face-to-face, and more. Of course, please stick around to the end, where I'll be having my classic pay-per-view of the week. And before we start this week's episode, please go over to youtube.com/@thepwfanpod, where we kindly ask you to like and subscribe. We got all of our old episodes up there. For all other social media, you just want to search at the PW Fan. We're on TikTok, we're on X, we're on Instagram. You know, the only thing I think we're not on is Facebook, but maybe we'll do that soon. For t-shirts, we are on prowrestlingtees.com/thepwfan. We're going to get some new designs made. But guys, in about a week and a half, 2 weeks, the three of us will be at WrestleMania. So what I wanted to say is the three of us will be filming different content over the weekend at WrestleMania. And then we were going to do a what I call the mom video, which is the Mania of WrestleMania, the Mania of Mania, I should say. That's what makes it mom. So we will do our Mania of Mania video and going to document our whole trip over on the YouTube channel. But okay, that takes care of all the intro stuff. Andy, I'm going to pass it over to you. We got a lot to talk about. We were just catching up on Raw. We were watching Punk come out. We'll get into that. We'll get into that next week. But yeah, man, over to you. Let's get going.
Before we get into Raw, very quickly, because I guess we didn't know it came back, let's just talk briefly about the first 3 episodes of Dark Side of the Ring for those of us that watched.
Loved it.
It was Earthquake, and then Buff Bagwell, and then Terry Gordy.
Look, let's say that you're a casual viewer and you're like, man, I'm not watching all 3 of those episodes. I would say, if you're more into wrestling history, watch the Terry Gordy episode. If you're just looking for it from an entertainment standpoint, the Buff Bagwell episode is the highest recommendation. But I will say that the John Tenta Earthquake episode is cool because it's the first time that it ever felt like more of a light side of the ring rather than a dark side of the ring. It was a sad story because he passes away, but overall, it wasn't really a negative.
It's not a pass away from drugs.
Yeah, it wasn't
his body or anything like that.
Yeah, it wasn't a traditional dark side. So that one's a little different. Worth checking out.
I don't even know. Maybe I could find it out really quick while we're talking about it. But yeah, I was gonna say I don't even know what next week's Dark Side of the Ring is. I think I looked it up. It is. Oh, okay. Tim knows the story about this. It's Brutus, the Barber Beefcake, which they'll probably go into.
Oh yeah,
parasailing accident.
So basically, it's worth watching. Basically, the story that I heard is that he was on the beach. He was hanging out, just as one does on the beach, tanning, among other things. Sorry, I had to yawn. And somebody was parasailing or paragliding, like Andy said, and literally sailed into his face with their knees and broke almost every...
He almost died, I think.
Yeah, broke every bone in his face. They said that his face was like a bag of broken rocks.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
So, like a bag of pebbles, all broken.
What are the chances of that even happening?
Dude, I mean, that's the thing. Like, some guy runs into you with their knees in your face while you're just like chilling on the beach. Like, God,
And
that's
it's not Andrade. It's some guy.
Yeah,
Yes.
it's not Andrade, but just the ultimate bad luck. But yeah, so that should be an interesting episode for sure. And he had to get plastic surgery, obviously, and they had to, do like facial reconstruction. So I am interested to watch that one.
Yeah, now that we're caught up, we can go more in depth next week on a single episode rather than talk about 3.
Well, we didn't know
also,
we didn't even know that they were out until this week, where I saw that the one of them was out, and then all of a sudden I kept looking them up, and I was like, wait, there's 3 out now.
Yeah. Also, there was a new episode of Legends and Rivals this week. Legends was a British Bulldog, who I've never really seen a documentary style kind of thing on. So that was just like the DDP, which I hadn't.
I need to watch that. That sounds interesting. I've never seen the Bulldog documentary, so I need to watch that.
It goes into his relationship with like Dynamite Kid and the Brett and Bulldog match at SummerSlam at Wembley. It was good though. That's on A&E, and then Rivals this week, which was one I was really interested in. Even though I know the story front and back, is the Dudleys, Edge and Christian, and Hardy's rivalry, which I guess I forgot about. The match at WrestleMania 2000. It wasn't a TLC. It was like a triple ladder match, is what they called it, or something like that. Tri-ladder match or something.
A triangle ladder match.
Triangle ladder match, yeah. And then next week's the finale for
that is
show.
Well, there's TLC 1, and then there's TLC 2 at WrestleMania,
and then the Forgotten
17.
TLC.
Well, the Forgotten TLC is the one where Benoit or Jericho does the Walls of Jericho to Benoit on top of the ladder. Yeah. No one ever talks about that.
TLC 1 was at SummerSlam, and then TLC 2 technically was at WrestleMania 17. But next week, the finale of Legends is Roman Reigns, and the finale of Rivals is The Miz and Daniel Bryan. And then they're going to get into, I think a week or so later, they'll get into a new season of WWE Treasures, which I always enjoy going around to collectors, and they're getting memorabilia that, say, has been lost or sold of certain wrestlers. I know Cody's in the season trying to get some of his dad's memorabilia back, so. Anyway, let's get into Raw. Show-wise, we have Raw, Dynamite, Smackdown, and Rampage. There was no Collision this week, and Rampage came on Wednesday right after Dynamite. This is all because of the NCAA basketball games. I guess March Madness, right? I'd assume. That's what it is. Raw opened up the show with Jey Uso, who called out Jimmy. They have a promo with each other, going back and forth. I believe, Jimmy he took credit for everything big that Jey basically has ever accomplished. Jey went and ended up saying, "No, the biggest moment in my career, my dream match, will be at WrestleMania 40, me versus you, when I knock the yeet out of your ass." Last week we had talked about that. Jey had said that his dream match was facing his brother at Mania, and that's when we got into talking about the Hardy match and the Owen and Brett match. So,
I feel like this will be a really good match either way.
Yeah, at the end of this promo segment, Solo and Jimmy would attack Jey, and Cody would run out to make the save because he's still hunting down the bloodline. It's been weird with this tag team, this 6-team tag team ladder match at Mania, where the Raw teams, they're just doing like a team versus team winner goes on, while SmackDown is doing a bracket.
Yeah.
So we got some teams from Raw this week. DIY defeated the Creed brothers during a WrestleMania spot. So now we have Judgment Day and DIY. After that, Candice LeRae would continue to change her persona. She's acting a little more heelish in the ring. Cody Rhodes cuts a promo responding to The Rock. He comes out when Cody wears black, man. You know he's going
Something's gonna happen.
a little darker.
Yeah.
But during this segment, he was sporting a black suit, which represents his darker side. More serious with his words. I remember he ended up saying "Little Dwayne" or "Little Dick Syndrome"
Yeah.
because BDE, as we know for normally is Big Dick Energy, but
Huge,
The Rock's been using
gigantic
Big
cocks.
Dwayne. The Rock's been saying.
Are we allowed to
Big
say
Dwayne
that on
Energy
YouTube?
lately.
Huge dicks.
I think it should be fine.
I have no idea.
Very cool.
So some of the things Cody said was, "Rock, I don't think you're a heel. I think you're an asshole." This is in response to The Rock calling himself, I think, our favorite heel. Cody would say, "Don't think for 2 seconds that this locker room needs you more than you need it." He said in response to him, The Rock talking about his mom. He said, "This is the same lady who hopped off her chair at a Willie Nelson concert and beat the hell out of an undercover cop. She isn't afraid of you."
To absolutely no pop, he said that.
Yeah, I know.
He said at WrestleMania,
Everyone was like, okay.
Yeah.
He said at WrestleMania, "I think you're just Roman's side chick." He said, "You have referred to yourself as the final boss. Kudos to Brian Gerwitz for that nickname."
Yeah.
And then people have always compared Homelander from The Boys, if you've ever seen The Boys, to Cody, just
Cody, yeah.
outfit-wise. He said, "I'm about to go full Homelander and rip your throat out, get to the point." When talking to Paul Heyman, who would end up coming out during this segment, saying that Roman is telling Cody to come alone, and Roman will be a man of his word and come alone. So that was the whole segment. This would lead to SmackDown, which we'll talk about in a little bit. Anything to add to that? That was a big segment this week.
Cody also made another reference. I just thought it was kind of funny because there was also no reaction to this one. When he was talking to Heyman, he said, "I'm wearing my Bullet cufflinks," as a reference to Bullet Club. And he's like, "I was in other club or other organizations as well." And like no one reacted to that at all. I just was like,
no
Jeremy,
reaction.
I just realized this was during the SmackDown segment with Roman. We have not gotten there yet.
That's right. That's we're on Raw.
We're on Raw. Jeremy's getting ahead. Jeremy's
Oh
like,
my God.
Bullet Club Takis? Bullet Club Takis cufflinks? No reaction.
Yeah, you got no reaction from me on that. I have no idea what you're talking about.
It's because you're old and you're not with the kids on TikTok.
All right.
Tim is.
There was a contract signing with Sami and Gunther. Sami Zayn reiterated that people have questioned his ability to be champion. And, he reminded fans that the Usos, they never thought, or probably thought that he could never be the guy to end their tag team title reign. Talked about dethroning Gunther, who just brushed it aside, basically. Sami said, "You sit there with that smug look on your face, and it's really starting to piss me off." Gunther would end up saying, "If you were to be honest to yourself, you don't believe you can beat me, and that at WrestleMania, your dreams will meet reality." Gunther was saying basically also that, Sami, you don't believe that you can beat me. When Sami was backstage, Chad Gable had told him he doesn't believe that he can beat him, and that, you can't just, he's the ultimate underdog, and Sami has won when he's an underdog because he's found, open windows, and he's like, Gunther doesn't give you an open window to, get that opportunity. Okay, so back to WrestleMania teams. Awesome Truth defeated Induj Sheer, who's the team that Jinder Mahal manages. So Awesome Truth Judgment Day, and DIY so far. We have 3 tag teams, and we'll get a 4th later on. There was a segment with Drew McIntyre and Seth Rollins. This is still... They're still talking about, how all of Seth's focus is on The Rock and Roman and Cody, their match at WrestleMania. Seth would end up saying he's an addict. He said, "My name is Seth freaking Rollins, and I'm a spotlight junkie." This was to play off of what Drew had said about him the week before. He said, why can't that be the reason we're getting the spotlight? McIntyre said, when he questioned why the attention has to be on Rollins' match with The Rock and Roman instead of them and their hard work. And Rollins said, "That's the difference between you and me. When the lights are brightest, I shine." It was just a typical build-up feud segment. We're getting down to the wire, though. Next week when we record, it's going to be, the go-home show for this. The New Day defeated Akira Tozawa and Otis to earn a WrestleMania spot. So now we have the New Day, DIY, Awesome Truth, Judgment Day. The last 2 teams are going to come from SmackDown.
And the Hardys.
And the Hardys, yeah. And then the main event was Becky Lynch defeating Nia Jax in the last woman standing match. She did this with a leg drop off of a ladder onto Nia Jax.
Are they finally done now?
After Nia had already gone through a table. I hope so.
Yeah.
But that was Raw.
Yeah.
Anything to add, guys?
No, that was a pretty good show again.
Not for Raw. I'm just just making me excited for Mania. I'm ready. My body's ready. I'm gonna get naked, start dancing around.
Ready.
All right, so Dynamite this week.
Andy completely no-sold that. He was like, "All right, anyway, so Dynamite this week."
It was like, anyways, like, shut the fuck up, Tim.
Sorry, I was reading my list. I wasn't even really paying attention. I just know you said we're closer to Mania.
Yeah.
Andy was like, I know Tim was saying some dumbass shit, so I just was moving on.
Sorry, I gotta guide the show, and I get lost in what I'm right.
Sorry, Andy. Who opens up Dynamite?
Mercedes Monet opened up Dynamite this week. But the lights during their promo, the lights would go off. Sky Blue and Julia Hart would try to take her out. Willow Nightingale and Statlander made the save. Mercedes hit her finisher in the ring. And then wasn't there a stare down with Willow and her?
Yeah.
Or was that already?
She showed a video package as well. I don't think in this one.
Of her time. She said basically in case you
in New Japan.
Yeah, she showed her New Japan stuff. Our first match of the night saw a new champion crowned. I called this as I was watching it because they just signed him. Why would they make him lose? Okada defeats Eddie Kingston for the Continental Crown Championship. Not to get confused with the Triple Crown, which is the Strong, the ROH, and the Continental Crown. Eddie has 3 belts, which would be the Triple Crown. Okada took one of the 3, which is the Continental Crown.
Yeah.
It's exhausting. Okada wins.
See Okada get scared
2 weeks
by he got scared by his own pyro when they won. I guess he didn't know they were gonna do that.
Didn't even notice. What, he jumped?
He thought someone was coming out, so he turned to it.
Oh. So Okada is a champion. I don't know how much stock y'all put in the Continental Crown. I forget about it sometimes.
Well, hopefully it makes it elevates the title now.
Yeah. Hook would end up defeating Chris Jericho. Chris Jericho put a younger talent over. For once, pinned him.
Chris Jericho needs to go away for a bit.
Jeremy's like, Chris Jericho just needs to go away forever.
I'm the guy, I'm the guy, I'm the guy. I'm the guy, I'm the guy, I'm the guy that stays around a long time. I'm wearing out, where my welcome. I got go away heat.
Wearing out my welcome.
I got go away heat. It's time for me. It's time for me to leave.
It's like no one even reacts anymore to him when he comes out. They're like, all right, like, and he does that Lion's Heart.
I have
wrestling as
been,
the Lionheart
dude,
Chris
guys.
Jericho.
I have been around a long time. I will make you watch me all the time, and I will drag you down and suck on popular talent, and then also make them suck.
We'll come up with official lyrics next week, guys.
Yeah.
I've been
All right,
around, I've been around, I've been
The next match
around
was why everyone's there.
a long time.
Will Ospreay had a promo segment. Jeremy, do you remember what he was saying? I know he was talking about Bryan Danielson and Dynasty. Was it just more hype for their match?
Yeah, it's more hype. I mean, it was another like good promo by him. It wasn't bad either.
Ruff
so
is killing it.
yeah. Yeah, I think after this, he's gonna he definitely can get himself over the American audience that don't know him.
Thoughts on the main event? I enjoyed it. I thought it was good.
I really liked it.
I hate
Actually,
I quit matches. Adam Copeland defeated Christian to become technically a 2-time TNT champion. We have a new champ. Some cool spots during it. Everyone liked the penalty box hockey fight. They grabbed jerseys I'm sure were planted.
They got me at first. I thought he was actually grabbing like a fan's jersey.
It's like there's no way there's opposite teams right next to each other, right by the penalty box. There was a lot of interference in the match. Adam Copeland would end up using Spike on Christian Cage's nuts, and then he was gonna hit him with this in the face, and that's when Christian yelled, "I quit."
That shot when he actually landed it. I guess Christian had to be wearing something protective there.
Mm-hmm.
But that was like a thud when it hit.
What's Adam Copeland was bleeding during this. I don't remember what caused it. But yeah, a lot of interference.
They used like a hockey stick.
Did use a hockey stick.
Table spot as well. But I mean, it was a pretty good match, especially like these two in their 40s, and did this
forward suplex into the ladder struts is always painful when the ladder's V shape. I just hate. Well, the crowd also. This was cool. Instead of singing Jericho's music, they were singing Edge's or Adam Copeland.
That was really cool.
Speaking of me just saying Edge right there, Taz said Edge during the match. He's like, Adam.
He did.
Sorry. What does he say? He's like old habit.
Yeah. But yeah, I would much prefer people saying Edge's theme song than Jericho's.
Yeah. Well, I like Edge's theme.
I do too.
Adam Copeland is the new TNT champion, and it did not.
Let me ask you this. There's always one test with any theme song, with any song ever, actually, that has nothing to do with wrestling. Would you bop it with the windows down at a red light?
Dude, I don't know if there's ever been a theme song except for Aleister Black's in NXT. I don't think there's ever been Bray's Code Orange one. I did, yeah. I
mean, Edge's I would.
And I was rocking Punk's Kill Switch one before he used it.
Yeah.
Would you put Chris Jericho's Busting in My Mind as...
I jammed Judas before he made it a theme song for himself.
You did?
When he first ever was like, my new single's out, I was like, I'll check it out. I was like, it's not bad. It was better than his like old one that we used to listen to back in the day.
Okay.
Yeah.
What was that one, Tim?
Do you remember me?
Yeah. Terrible. Other than that, no, I can't.
'Cause you're
Can't think
my
of theme song.
enemy.
It was an interesting end to the show because they had Rampage right after that, and so it kind of like dipped to black towards the finish, and then came back on.
Thank God Rampage was recording for me because I record Dynamite and it cut off early, and so it bled into Rampage. This match did. So that does it for Dynamite. We got Rampage. Only thing I wrote down: Trent Beretta and Orange Cassidy defeat Kyle Fletcher and Powerhouse Hobbs to move on in the AEW Tag Team Championship Tournament.
I also thought the women's match was pretty good. What did they call it? It wasn't a death match, but it was.
Oh, it was Willow and Stat, right?
Yeah, versus Sky Blue and
Julia Hart. Was that the main event?
I think so.
Exactly.
The love of my life.
Tim.
What?
Julia Hart?
Oh, what?
And I'll also say, the interference in the Adam Copeland match, Daddy Magic and Daniel Garcia came out to help him.
Yeah, that's right.
Who be Daddy?
You want to know what makes Booker Andy's nipples hard?
The thought of CM Punk coming out as the special referee.
That's not happening. He's commentary.
Seth made him look like a bitch, though. Because at the end, Punk has to be
why
did
they tease that?
Guys, we'll talk about this next week.
Sorry.
They teased it, and then he was like, yeah, I'm doing commentary.
I'm going to do commentary, God damn it.
That's what it sounded like.
Well, I don't want to do commentary.
I don't want to be What Seinfeld? What does he say? But I don't want to be I can't remember.
I don't want to be a cowboy.
You look like a. Oh, Kramer's like, you look like a cowboy. He's like, but I don't want to be a cowboy.
And then with his puffy shirt, he's like, you look like a pirate. He's like, well, I don't want to be a pirate.
I don't want to be a pirate. He's like, you look like a pirate.
He's like, you're like Switzerland. He's like, well, I don't want to be Switzerland. And they're playing the board game. There's like three of them.
Andrade doesn't even get a full entrance anymore.
He's pretty good at catch. How would you know? Damn.
Yeah, dude, your dad. He's like, dude. Side story, Andy. What's that guy's name? Shane, whatever.
Dan Soder.
Dan Soder. Dan Soder. He has this joke where he's talking about being like a divorced. He's talking about being like the son of a divorced, divorced parents, and he's like, yeah, my stepdad and my mom would just sit around the table and talk shit about my dad all the time. Be like, yeah, he's a fucking loser. He never comes around, and then you start thinking to yourself, I mean, well, he is my dad, and then you're like, oh yeah, well, he's pretty good at catch, and they're like, yeah, how would you know? And he's like, damn
it. It was Joe. Joe made this look like, fight him for me, please. You have to watch it, dude. It's so funny.
Jeremy, you gotta watch. Jeremy, you gotta watch that, dude.
He has a clip on
there's some wrestling jokes, fellow wrestling fan, worth checking out. Dan Soder, Andy.
Oh, that's funny.
Fellow wrestling fan. Is it on Netflix?
No, that one, the one we watched, is on YouTube.
Yeah, he makes the joke that he was 15 smoking cigarettes, and he was booking.
He was on Stop. We're talking about. He's like,
he was booking
Outback. He's just like,
should I do Hogan? He's like, should I do Hogan versus Triple H for the title in a cage?
He said he was while he was smoking his cig. Yeah, he's one of the best Macho Man impressions I've ever heard. Okay, sidetrack. Smackdown. Dun, 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 dun. Santos Escobar will defeat Rey Mysterio due to Dominic interference. Dominic showed up in a Rey mask. I don't know why. Are they going to do Dominic and Rey Part 2? I thought they were going to do Santos and Rey at Mania, but...
Yeah, that's what it sounded like.
I don't think they're adding any more matches, man. Unless they added Jade. SmackDown advertised Jade showing up next week.
Yeah.
So unless they all of a sudden do Bianca and Jade, or I think all the matches are
It's kind of crazy that Bianca is not on it at all.
they could do. Could they do Bianca and Naomi going after Damage Control for the tag titles? Put Naomi right back into the tag titles that she left. They're like, you have to finish your story.
Yeah.
All right. So I talked about there being a tag team bracket on SmackDown. Austin Theory and Grayson Waller defeated the Good Brothers to move on in the tag team bracket. Good Brothers are busy in NXT dominating. I'm pretty sure they're going to wrestle at Stand and Deliver, so there's no need for them to be on Mania as well. Io Sky would defeat Naomi in a singles match. Kevin Owens punches both members of Pretty Deadly backstage at the same time, like he used to with Waller and Theory. And Randy and KO versus Pretty Deadly is set up for next week on SmackDown, aka this week. Street Profits defeat Authors of Pain to move on in the tag team bracket. So, the last two teams are going to be one of these four. You ready? Mania is going to be Judgment Day, DIY, Awesome Truth, New Day, and then one of these two, Street Profits, Theory and Waller, New Catch Republic, or Legado del Fantasma.
I think Theory and Walker.
And then who else? New Catch Republic, Pete Dunne and Tyler Bate?
I think, yeah, New Catch Republic, yeah.
Because Street Profits are going to have to face someone. I think Authors of Pain are going to interrupt.
Yeah.
And so, yeah. For the Hardys.
They could be like, there's actually another entrance.
They're like, no, Jeff, your DUI time is tagged onto your contract while Matt can go.
It's actually the last team is Chris Benoit and Vince McMahon. They come out. They're called the They're called the Terribles.
They're called the what? The Terribles.
Called Blacklisted. Blacklisted. They're not
yeah, Blacklist.
Rockin' Vince. Main event was a promo
right,
segment.
Sorry though, hang on. Fuck Chris Benoit though, seriously. All right, anyway, continue.
That just makes me think of the video with Paul Heyman. He's like, that's my boy. He's like, really? He's like, great talent.
No, he's not. He is not my boy. No, I just didn't want to make that clear. He's not my boy.
Last night, I saw a horror film.
Last night, I saw a film. All right. God, Andy, stop. Why would you do that? I've had 3 hits of sativa out of a pen, and you're bringing up jizz in my pants right now. You're bringing up Lonely Island, and I'm about to start singing it.
Come on, guys.
Guys, can we just... I jizz in my pants. All right.
All right. Roman Reigns and Cody Rhodes segment. There was a lot to talk about during this. Both showed up alone. Roman would call Cody a fool. He's a fool for showing up alone. He's a fool for trusting Seth Rollins, who, he reminded us that they were like brothers and he betrayed him with the Shield. And then Cody would bring up how the team that defeated the Shield had the last name Rhodes. He also said the thing that you were talking about, Jeremy, with the bullet cuffling. And
this is the one that
I know a little bit about factions.
I had no reaction to it.
So Roman was talking about how can Cody trust Seth, and him being a fool is why Cody will always be number 2. And then Cody said, talk about, me trusting Seth. He's like, can you really trust The Rock? He said, I might be number 2, but when it comes to defeating you at WrestleMania, I am the one. Is there anything else that he had said that I maybe missed out?
I feel like Tim has something to say.
Sorry, that was a little bit of a mic test. My bad. Keep going, gentlemen.
All right. Well, that was basically the gist of it. It ended with Cody.
Excuse me.
It ended with.
I have
It ended
something
with
to say
Cody.
over here.
Ended with Cody saying that he's going to be the one to defeat Roman. Then, as kind of you could predict, Solo and Jimmy would show up from the sides. But then you would see.
Oh, this
Seth
is the
Rollins.
Avengers moment.
Yay! We had a little bit of Civil War, Avengers Civil War, or
Andy,
Thanos versus
for
Avengers.
your next
I can't get through this segment without Tim. But what's up?
for your next shirt, would you prefer strictly business, Andy, or let's hurry this up, or let's hurry this up because I have to poop, Andy? Which one? Which shirt would be better
that's the
for
last
you?
season of the PW fan. All right.
You're like, Andy's like, dude, I control my bowels now.
That's season 2 of the PW fan. All right.
Oh my god, I'm sorry.
Skip is gonna clip this part and be like, "Poop is on the way." That was pilot. Something weird. Season 2 of Poop. Anyway.
All right.
Was
that it?
That was pretty much it with that segment. The two groups would face off on the outside of the ring, and the SmackDown would come to a close. Shorter episode this week. Tim, do you have a classic show of the week, or just watch those dark sides if you can? Watch the
dark sides. Watch Legends. My classic show of the week was WrestleMania 2000. Actually,
which we were talking about with Dudley.
What's that?
Which we were talking about with the Dudleys, Hardys, and
that's why I brought
Edge
it up.
Christian in the beginning.
So, WrestleMania 2000 is a WrestleMania I feel that gets looked over quite a bit.
People say it's one of the worst, right?
Let's
tell people to watch a terrible Mania.
Let's go through the card and you tell me, because hear me out.
All right.
Hear me out, bros. So WrestleMania 14 and 15 get talked about. 17 gets talked about as one of the best. 18 is Rock and Hogan. 19 everybody likes. 20 has its flaws. But yeah, I feel like 2000's a weird one that no one
16
talks.
16 is 2000, right?
Yes.
Technically?
Yes.
Okay.
So the card is, you gotta think, it's in the height of the Attitude Era. So technically it should be good. So let's go through this card here. Opening match is Bull Butchman and Big Boss Man against the Godfather and D'Lo Brown. Second match is Hardcore Holly versus Crash Holly. I didn't see the dog. Sorry.
Yeah.
If you're watching on video, Andy has a special guest. So opening matches: Big Boss Man and Bull Butchman against Godfather and D'Lo Brown. Then you got Crash Holly versus Hardcore Holly. Test and Albert with Trish Stratus against Al Snow and Steve Blackman. Edge and Christian against the Dudley Boys against the Hardy Boys in a triangle ladder match. We talked about that earlier. China and Too Cool, which is Grandmaster Sexay and Scotty Too Hottie. China defeated. Defeated. I'm reading the results here. China and Too Cool against the Radicals. So there was a 2-fall. This one's really complicated. A 2-fall triple threat match for the WWE Intercontinental and WWE European Championship. Chris Benoit.
2-fall.
So one fall was for one title, the other fall was for the other title. So
gotcha.
So Chris Benoit versus Chris Jericho or Chris Benoit and Chris Jericho again for. I just give up on talking on life. Chris Benoit and Chris Jericho face each other in 2 matches for the Intercontinental and the European title. Kane and Rikishi against DX, X-Pac, and Road Dogg. Wow, this Mania is fucking terrible. I'm sorry that I even recommended it.
Out. There's Zarita. He's like, oh.
As I'm reading the card, I'm like, damn, I would be bummed to spend $50 to $60.
China and Too Cool.
Yeah.
All right, the main event is
who's Taker facing?
You got a McMahon in every corner. Triple H.
Oh my God.
Against The Rock, against Mick Foley, against The Big Show.
Who's Taker face on that Mania?
Taker is unfortunately not on this card.
Wow.
I wonder why. Is Mark Calloway?
He's actually the guy from the Skyscrapers. He comes back as his old WCW character. But yeah, guys, I'm sorry I just wasted a 5-minute segment on a terrible Mania. If you want to watch a terrible Mania,
you're like, man, the hype or the rumors are true. It's terrible.
The rumors are true. That card does look like it sucks. The main event seems interesting, and the triangle ladder match. So watch those 2. Thank you for watching episode 133. Can't believe it's been that long, guys.
23.
One more episode 123. Guys, one more episode and then we'll be at Mania.
At Mania.
Yep. So we'll record next week, and then the one after next week will be post Mania.
And we'll get some video content. You'll see us all in our glory in high def. Not like these.
Taker was not at WrestleMania 10 and 2000 because of injury. I did not know he was not at 10.
Are you ready? Are people ready for the PW fan in HD?
Oh, don't forget about the rumors of who's going to be at Mania this year. Cena, Stone Cold, Taker, and
that was it for those 3, right?
It was just those 3. I thought there was 4.
Well, Punk, I thought, but he is going to be there now.
I'm going to be at Mania wearing The Rock's deodorant, as I am I am a new customer now. The Rock shoes and The Rock's deodorant, among other surprises, in HD.
Wow.
I'm going to clear my blackheads, clear my plores. My plores.
Clear my plores.
Clear my plores.
Okay, that does it.
Nope, we're staying. We're going to have an awkward ending.
Okay.
We're going to keep it going as long as possible. And we will see you guys on episode 124.